Hey everybody, my voice is audible. Can you hear me? My voice is audible. My voice is audible. All right. So, so today's goal is to talk about little bit my own project, and today I just work the geometry. My live session. So my voice is clear. Can you confirm me the sound is clear or not? The sound is audible or not? My voice is clear. Okay. I feel like now it is. So today, guys, I walk you through a very important concept, and nowadays we are living in a AI era. So, and I have, as you see the title, I have more than 1400 plus file. If you look at the file, and it's a huge project, and it's a very production ready. I spent more than 6 months, and face I have faced a lot of problem, and then based on my problem, I just organize code base, and I learn what actually system design is, architectural thinking is, and then I design this way, and it's very modular, scalability, maintainability, and trust me, if you like. So let me say something. In this AI era, there are three type of people mainly, and even we can say four. One is non-technical guy; they can ask AI, and AI can create. Then a junior, then a mid, and then senior. So in this era, senior level developer or engineer get a lot of benefit from AI. Why is that? Because they know how to design end-to-end um, product. But at junior level, they know how to implement code base or write code. Very right. But as you guys see, which asks AI, and AI can create our entire code base. So if you look at recently, Claude create this entire geometry. If you look at it has more than 53 files. But but how Claude know? Here I'm not using any agentic AI, just Claude chatbot. But still it create and it align with my code base. Why? Let me share you, because I want everything at at this point reliable, and that's why I use a documentation. So I design my entire architecture the way I want. So here I just follow my instructions. So if you look at inside runtime, I have the geometry. If you look at this is the geometry, and I document. So this is the architectural developer implementation and reference manual. So let me show this one. We have four type of code base. One is architectural. So here it's a overview of my architecture, how my architecture actually uh, represent, which is this architecture answer why and where. Second is technical specification, which means how it is designed. So all the if you look at, I just design it, right? And even if you look at all the connection, how one part connect to other, how they communicate, so all the things we have. If you look at, we have the models, we have the, the constraint, the rules, right? And this is very important. And then we have a developer guide. So this part actually help you out how you can implement. So you know why and where, then you know how, and then you know exactly implementation. So this is a, so you have folder structure, the folder what each folder represent, and then you have the exact implementation, first step, second step, and then you have the extension workflow, which means if you want to add new features, and then you have the actually building blocks inside that particular code base or folder or module, whatever you can call. So we have same things, and then we have the pattern, what type of pattern we are going to follow up in this particular code base. And then we have validation check, you have to must correct it. And then you have the anti-pattern, which means don't follow this type of things. And then you have summary. So I provide the in detail, so there is no chance AI can just predict or assume. And then we have a reference manual, which means exact our public APIs, our public contract, and models. Then we have glossary, which means what each segment meaning in that particular segment of code. So I provide this entire code base to Claude, and Claude generate these 43 files at once, and they are aligned because all the things I design. If you look at this type of mentality, you guys get from the senior level developer, because they know what they are gonna build, and AI just write code. But if you just ask purely, hey, just create, AI can figure out by itself. But if you have this type of project, a very big project, do you think without running agent, even if you run agent, so agent by scanning your code base, they can figure out, but it would be very expensive. And even though if you look at the very MNC company, they like document like this. Otherwise, your team member cannot understand. And it's very scalable. So code base distributed by a portion of responsibility. All right. So don't focus right now the buzzword, because these are just buzzword like modularity, components. So these are very, who understand system design, they use these things. And actually, if you're a good developer and pro developer, I think you have to use this type of terminology, because they Twice here, I just this entire geometry are geometry are generated by Cloud Code. Now I have refactored my layout capability. So right now I call it a geometry capability inside graph runtime. So I want you to create a commit message so I can push to my GitHub cloud repository. So recently I just generated this entire code base like geometry. It has more than 53 files. So it's time to just commit. this is my project documenting in Notion. So I document each and everything for reference because I use a chatbot. So under the hood, chatbot cannot understand your stuff, and you're not using any agentic tools. So you have to provide at least the context, and to make your file correctly. So you have to provide the folder structure so they can import correctly, right? So that is my strategy, and I use it. And also I have document. I Because here I'm not guessing anything. My project, it's very huge project, more than 80, 100, 80,000 plus lines of code and more than 1400 files. So in this case, you have to document each and everything, how your architecture work. So for each document, I have four type of document: architecture, technical specification, developer guide, and reference manual. So if I provide this entire four file, if any chatbot, they can understand of what I'm building inside that particular component. This is called software engineering and system design. So if you look at, guys, in this AI, so this is my notion, and I have just documented like this. So look at how I learn all this stuff. So I have entire mental model. Okay, so if you look at, I have this type of so this is the software architecture, and I have this is the behavioral architecture, all the stuff. And this type of is really helpful when you are designing your entire system from end to end. And look at, I have the document. So in my architecture, I'm just documenting because AI doesn't know about your code base. If you don't use agentic tools, so AI can understand. And but as a general developer in real product company, they document their stuff like this. So what is the architecture? What's look like the technical specification? So for each my component or module, I have four type of document. So easily I can understand, and if I refer to AI chatbot also understand what I'm building with this particular module or component. And even let's say if I'm onboarding something in my team, so they by reading this document, they easily can understand what I'm building and what look like my code base. So each and everything I documented. So for each component, I just document it. So if you look at, I have geometry capability in my code base. So if you are a first time, let's say if I'm onboarding you, how would you know my code base? That's the question. So yeah, by reading this, comment and logic, you can understand the like the reasoning part, the logical part. But overall code base, to understand, you need overall the architectural document. Without it, you cannot digest or reason about the entire project end to end. This is my graph. So it's called a runtime. If you look at, I have runtime implementation. So it's very scalable, and I can add as many runtime as I want. So this way I organize my code base. Again, if you are a first time, please listen carefully. This code base has more than 1400 plus files. Now I want you to create similarly a template for technical specification document for mind map feature. You suggested 20 section. If you think all of them are required, so keep them. But if you think they are not, so you can remove any of unnecessary section. And this is my own document about mind map technical specification. So I want you create official document for long term. So first response, create the half of that document, and the second response will be the remaining half of a document. So give me half document in first response. Right now, I'm just documenting my uh, component, or it's a feature which is a mind map. So if you follow my documenting strategy, I have four type of document. One is architectural document. So overall, you understand how this particular component or module work, which can help you how you can think through. And then technical specification, it answers how it is designed. So that part I'm just documenting. So here I provide most of the information around this chatbot. Like if you look at, I use um, this queen, and I actually create from my exact code base, and then I paste here. So this chat model and combine both knowledge and create this specification document. So this way I learn my code base. It's not like, because when you have a very big project uh, like this, more than 80,000 lines of code and 1400 files, it takes a lot of courage to maintain. And to be honest, last month, uh, since last month, I'm just understanding my code base, because now I had a very huge bad time. Because to be honest, just yesterday or today, I just wrote only this new file called uh, geometry. So it's a capability of my entire runtime. So yeah, and even though it is written by entire code module by Claude, and how Claude accurately create, because of guys, I create this type of document where AI cannot predict or guess or invent any architectural decision or payload or signature, or whatever you call. So all the things I documented. So at this moment, you don't feel you need that type of things, but trust me, if you have a large project and you are the only one handling those projects, it's not a toy project anymore. Then you feel like, okay, I have to manage my things. And then the question is how, because we are living very dynamic era, because every single day something is coming up, right? And yeah, new models, new capability, new framework, new features, new mental model. We have to we have to catch up, right? That's why the startup is all about iterating and refactoring. So you have to create a code base in a way you can easily apply changes without affecting neighbor module or neighbor code base. So you have to understand the dependency, the contracts between them, and the modularity, and also you have to provide extension workflow, which means if you or maybe your team member want to add new things, they can know what to do. So that's we have the reference manual and developer guide document, right? So in nutshell, if you understand why do you need four type of document. So from my research, I observe I need this four. So guys, trust me, last 6 months I research a lot and I come up with this type of knowledge. If you understand my entire code base, so like first I research and I understand this entire. So we have a lot of things to say, but I'm not gonna waste your time. Just but we have to tackle one by one. If you look at my technical document, this is just technical document or learning materials. So we have a journey. I call it some complete software engineering journey. So you have, let me zoom a little bit. So you have a business problem. So this type of things you have to understand from business perspective. Then we have system design. Then we have architectural thinking. Then we have system design. We have system thinking. Then we have system design. Then you have software architecture. Then subsystem architecture, runtime decision, implementation decision, implemented So if you are a junior level like people, or if you call yourself you are the fresher or junior level, your job just only this, maybe implementation decision or implementation. So you just write code and implement a features. That's all. So in a project, in a big project, this is your job, this is your role. But if you look at who are senior level, they design this from 2 to 5. Who are product or business expert, they understand this part, right? So senior level, they are design system, they are thinking like system way, and your job this one. Even who are DevOps, they handle this one, and this part, and even this part. So you are just only role, like yeah. But if you're running your own startup, because at this moment, guys, you can run your own startup, you can build your own startup, but then you have to understand this entire workflow by yourself. If you assume you are the only one, but the fact is, just you have to know the mental model. You don't need to know the details. Why I'm saying it, once you understand the mental model, so you can create a very accurate prompt or accurate mental model. So why I'm saying it, so that's why you can able to create this type of document, and you don't have to write by yourself. I'm saying, if you know the mental model, then you can just ask AI, hey, create this type of document, this type of things, because you know all the terminology, all the concepts from architectural thinking. So now you become a senior developer, because at this moment I observe most of the senior developer are getting more benefit from AI. Why is that? Because they know how to design the entire code base from end to end. So they ask with accurate terminology, and AI know, so AI just generate code. But as a junior level and midterm, we just figure out. We give a prompt, AI generate. So AI by itself invent or discover all those system design thinking, architectural thinking, but those are already created by somebody. Because AI just copy from their training part, and AI just guessing the next token, right? So in this case, well, I think my image is not visible. Okay, let me show. So okay, whatever. Just listen carefully what I'm saying. In this in this scenario, your job is to give a right technical information to AI model, or maybe a agent, because you want a reliable and deterministic workflow or code base. Because if you are working this type of huge project by yourself, you are the designer, you are the tester, you are the everything. So you cannot handle it. Trust me, I have spent 6 months, man. I just last like I rarely write code last within this month. I figure out what's what's happening, because if I change something, I have to refactor something else, because I don't understand the dependency throughout the project, the like the payload, like all those terminology, because I know how to implement. Right. That's you do know very well, because I can feel it. Because from YouTube perspective, people just only share the code base. From tutorial perspective, they only share a particular project, a particular demo project, and say, okay, within this folder structure, you have to just structure your folder like according to a technical specification or technical terminology. Like they just put all the hooks inside one file. They put all the like like React component. So at this moment, if you are a fresher, you only know three things: database, business logic, and UI. That's all. So you just write all your business rules in one module or one component. You call your database, you fetch your data, and then you present in the UI. That's all. right now I'm just documenting my product because you will understand why I'm doing it. So this document is very helpful when you just ask AI to generate a code. So guys, here I'm just documenting my features, which is mind map regarding things. So if you look at my code base, so I have a particular runtime. So it's called graph runtime. So in this graph, I have the capabilities and this feature. So around features, around this component, I have to create a document. So in features, we have a bunch of features like flowchart, mind map, save text, because I'm building a canvas regarding interface and yeah, powered by entire AI. So you have to ask AI, AI generate. That's my platform is about. But in this live session, we are just discovering how we can manage our code base. So if you look at how so if you look at the complete software engineering journey. So let me zoom in. So if you look at, we have a bunch of phase. I call it like phase. So the business problem. So like if you are a junior level like employees, or if you call yourself you are a junior or fresher, then your job just stay between these two stage. One is implementation, like implementation design, you can design how would you implement, and also you actually can implement. So this is the two part. But uh, uh, senior level developer or engineer, they have a different role. So their role to uh, they can think the entire system. That's called system thinking. Then we have architectural thinking. Then we have system design. So these two part just asking question and figure out the right strategy. Then we have system design. Then we have software architecture. Then we have a subsystem architecture. Then runtime design, like this. And these three part handle the DevOps. Right. So if you look at in this journey, throughout this journey, a lot of role exists, and this part who actually are business expert. But in this AI era, you are you can run your entire company by yourself. But but if you know all this mental model, here I'm not questioning you. You should know. You must know the actual deep learning. I'm saying you should know a mental model. Once you know the mental model, it will be very easy to talk with AI, because you want I exact the architecture you design, the workflow you design. So AI cannot itself design the architecture. If every chat, if you let them discover, so they can discover different things. So you cannot handle your big project. So what big project is? So guys, in my code base, I have more than 900,000 lines of code and 1400 plus files. Last 6 months, I spent the time just figuring out the right approach. I didn't know. I like nobody on the YouTube shared their code base. That's why I don't know how to organize. They only teach us how to organize code base based on the technical part. But when you have a small project, a demo project, or a very small project, so the mental model we are follow simple: database, business logic, and UI. These three mental model. It's very basic. Call database, validate throughout our business rules, and then represent UI. That's all. And yeah, I used to. If you look at my 10 project in this channel, I create those projects with these three mental model. But this project is very huge, so I use that type of mental model. But over the past, over the time, I had issue. I faced issue because of I want to integrate something. So my code base wasn't at modularity. Then I research, I understand system design, all those concepts, and then I organize it this way.